And we knew we were playing against a very good team, which would obviously want to dominate the ball. But I think we planned accordingly for what was to be in the central midfield, because we knew they overload that area. They don't only just play with the three central midfielders, they also bring Sales into that space. They bring Motiba into that space, and they also bring Tashrik Matthews into that space. So we had to be cautious in trying to make sure that the 2 6s, which is normally Marcelo and Tebogo, do not get as much time on the ball. We gave them a +1 up top because we wanted Dion to deal with the 2 centre backs so that at least the numbers favour us behind the ball. And I think we did that fairly well. And being in the central corridor a lot to try and deal with our 2 10s taking care of the 2 6s and our 3 central midfielders, that gave us an opportunity of easy breakouts from central positions into counter-attacks. We created a lot of opportunities. I'm only unhappy with the number of goals we have, because I think in this game we could have scored so many goals from our tactical orientations. But credit must be given. We're playing against a classy team that will always scare you in some moments, and in some moments you will be late to attach to our tactical agreements, and they would cause problems. But I'm just happy that these boys they got a result in such a big match, because in my opinion the way these boys have played against the top 4 teams, I don't think they deserve the return of the points that they got, because in my opinion I think they played very well against Durban City. They did not deserve to get a draw. I think they also played very well against Chiefs. They did not deserve to lose. And they played against Sekhukhune, which again I don't think it's a game they deserve to lose. And now to finish with the top 4 teams, we played, I think, very well against Sundowns. For me, it was a very good performance for the team, which should help the team to start to believe a little bit more in the process. And I'm hopeful that from here we can build something.
Thanks. Coach, did the conditions in any way work in your favor? Perhaps having the rain, having the wet outfield as well, like did that work in your favor? And secondly, how sweet is it to beat your former team as well?
I wouldn't know how it would work in my favor to have the pitch conditions like this, because I think for the type of football that we play, both teams would prefer a pitch that is compact, that is quick, but not slippery, because our football actions are always geared for the next and the next pass, the extra pass, and you can't have that really when the pitch is not very good. And to a certain extent, I think possession was lost a lot in this game by both teams. Though I think the areas where they lost the ball favored us a little bit more. I was just unhappy that from those situations we had too many situations where we regained possession as a result of probably the conditions, or maybe the stress from the players around. But we did not capitalize in those moments. And as for beating Sundowns, I would not be looking at it as my former team, and it will feel bad if I want to gloat about beating Sundowns, because this team has done so much for me and my family, and I will always be grateful to this team. I never have feelings of thinking I'm better or what, because I know this is a very, very powerful team. I hear people saying this season is going to be something different. In my opinion, I think this team is still very strong. It's just a matter of time. We must remember they did not have a proper preseason, and we are still capitalizing on that. In the first 10 matches, you can expect them not to be in sync, and also the fact that they were in the Club World Cup, it took its toll. The adaptation from the Club World Cup alone should at least take close to a month for the players to really adapt very well. and I don't think they are at where they are supposed to be. And when I look at the recruitments they made, I also still feel they've done very well. I think Nunez is a very good player. The young boy Bennett was with us in the DDC. He's a very, very good football player. And the boy they got from Portugal, the other youngsters, is also very good. So in my opinion, I just see a team that lost today, but which does not define that this team is no longer good enough. Because in my opinion, class is permanent. You know, there are moments where with that class you can always be punished here and there, but in my opinion, I think Sundowns is still very strong this season. And I'm honest when I say that.
Yes, good afternoon, Coach. Congrats on the win. And just sticking on the point of Sundowns being your former team, did perhaps your familiarity with the team have any influence in your tactical planning for this game, or do you perhaps feel that you are facing a totally different team when you're looking at them in terms of the expectations tactically on the field?
What I can say, because the tactical orientation of the team has completely changed from what you used to do in the past, and I don't think it's bad. I think it's very dangerous still. When you see Salas dropping in, you see Matthews dropping in, they cause a lot of chaos. The only thing that maybe I was fortunate with is that I know most of these players in terms of their individual profiles. I know which side they are vulnerable, which side they are stronger. So it always helps a little bit in understanding that when this player receives the ball, he's most likely going to turn to this side more than this side, and try to be always on the side where you put him at a disadvantage. And that helps more especially with the central midfielders. And I've worked with them for so many years, and there's so many things that I can pick up in terms of the detail technically. This one only scans once, this one scans too early, this one scans immediately just before he receives the ball. So chances are that he might not be ready for the press that is coming very, very strong towards him at that time. So those little things that I know, because I've trained them and I've seen them in training, and I know which shortcomings would they have under a little bit of pressure, because most teams in the league don't put Sundowns under pressure. And because most teams don't put Sundowns under pressure, it's very difficult to see that Sundowns sometimes does not defend very well. And I know it. I was coaching this team. I know what happens when in moments where they are under a lot of pressure, because it's what probably has taken a little bit for us to do as good as we're supposed to do in the Champions League, because in the Champions League we don't get the respect. We used not to get respect, but in the PSL everybody is sitting in a low block. The only way they come at you is on a counter attack, and then that makes the team to be very familiar with such conditions, but not very familiar with conditions where they are under stress. But if you put them under stress without clarity, again, they can always open you up so easily. And even in this game, there were moments where they opened us up, but we recovered, because what was my priority as well was to have a quicker team than them, so that even in moments where we are caught out of position, but our recovery would help us, because we were slightly quicker in general from the top, the midfield, and the back four. All the players that were there was not even one player that is slow. So it was important for us to compensate in moments where we are suffering with a little bit of athleticism and physicality in certain moments.
Coach.